Good.
Good.
Good afternoon, Bitcoin. We're live at day 2 at the Transylvania Crypto Conference. That's never getting old. We're joined by Keto Miner from Nodl.
Hi again.
Yes, hi again. We were just together in Prague. Now we're back again. Has anything changed in the last week?
Yeah, a lot of drama happened.
Lots of drama. Did you pick a fight with CoinDesk this morning? Oh no, that was
CoinDesk. No, I'm not picking fights, but yeah, some unfortunate leak happened.
Yeah.
Got some insider information about how Casa is dealing with some support requests, and actually some support engineer probably went a little too far in the automation of his task. And I wanted to double check the information. I talked about it to the wrong person, and that was released online during my sleep.
So you were sleeping soundly and everything exploded. I can definitely feel it from both sides. I've done support. It's terrible. It's awful. I hate doing support, and I know how you'd want to automate it away, but what did the guy do? Can we go to the specifics without getting anyone in trouble? Of course.
Long story short, except so some people thought like a main point is the default password for accessing the device. I will talk about that later. But actually, the main issue for me was that the support people were giving away a script, which is basically downloading a file from a third-party website and passing it directly to the shell and executing the commands without the user seeing them.
Yeah.
Which is obviously bad practice, and it wasn't an approved internal procedure. From what I learned from Jeremy Welsh, we had a nice conversation in private. I'm happy he's okay with me talking about it.
Good. Well, and it can be hard. I know from the outside, sometimes I see broken things. I tell people about them. I wait weeks and weeks. Nothing happened. But if you tell people publicly, things will happen, but maybe not what you want to happen. And in general, we just want to fix things and make it better. It sounds like what you're saying, downloading a script, running a remote file, inserting it into your node, especially if your node has some kind of Bitcoin or Lightning or money on it. It's a
basically anytime anyone gives you a script to run, just download it first, look what's inside, and then run it. That's actually how I learned about this, because someone came to me to ask me, do you think this is safe?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you just have to tell the truth. If it's not safe, we're talking about people's money. We don't want to hurt Casa's feelings or anything here. That's not what it's about. But it's about making their customers safe, making everyone who uses Bitcoin safe, everyone on the internet safe, and remote executing a third-party script and all that. This is not good.
The good side is that you actually have to have physical access to the device. So same as with a hardware wallet, consider that if someone puts his hand on your box, it's not safe anymore.
Don't let anyone put their hand on your box, for God's sake, people. We've got a president who does that. Let's not even mention it. But
so let's talk a few minutes about the default password issue, and because the
default password should be default, right?
Yeah, for example.
Default.
That wasn't the case here, but whatever it was, every device, every router, every router, every embedded device you buy usually comes with a default password. Usually it's printed on a nice sticker under the device. Sometimes it's provided to you by support when you need access to the device. We have that too at Nodl. We have a default password, which is Nodl 1234. Everybody knows that. It's everywhere in the documentation, and we ask user to change it as soon as they get the device.
Sure.
No one does that.
No one does it. Yes. So the alternative, printing unique stickers, remotely controlling each device through like a script of iterating through the numbers, something like that, which again could be figured out. You have to iterate through random numbers, I'd suppose, random words, something like that.
Yeah, totally.
That's a possibility, but that's obviously much more expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
So the quick fix is this: me being here today and asking our nice users to change their password. Go to the end of the quick start guide. I know it's long, but change the password. And the long-term fix is in the new devices we'll ship later this year. There will not be any default password anymore. We will use single-use passwords, generated passwords provided on a piece of paper, or a SSH private key on a USB thumb drive. That hasn't been decided yet. And on the existing devices, the next software update will force users to change the password at first connection.
Excellent.
So as soon as they will connect SSH into the device, they will have to change the password.
Well, that sounds like a good solution. And it's going to fix the problem in the
also
future.
in this Twitter storm, some interesting idea came up, which is about using HTTPS or not on local devices. I won't enter the debate of doing or not HTTPS. I'm pro HTTPS anywhere. But of course, when you connect to a local device with a self-signed certificate, you have no idea what the certificate should be. So you just connect, you are told to trust the certificate, whatever it is you see, and that's it. So what we will be also doing, we'll be printing out the fingerprint of the certificate which is generated, which is unique to every device. So when you connect to the device, you'll be able to check that the device is actually the one you're trying to connect to.
Excellent. So you're solving that problem too. Now, last time we talked, you were just about to announce, I'm not sure what it's called, the Samurai Noddle. But the big red box, it has a node inside that runs the Noddle, and it also runs the Samurai Dojo software. So how did that go?
That was crazy. We had a limited edition of 21 units with extra swag and a lower price. It went away.
And they were painted red, very bright red.
I mean, all of them are red, and it's not like a limited run, but these first 21 were like a special run for the first customers buying it, and it was sold out basically in one night.
One night. That's awesome. So you can still get them. You just can't get one of the first 21. And
we'll still figure out how to give you some extra swag with it. So the Samurai team is very eager to provide us with swag for the
Excellent. And what kind of things would this allow you to do? So if you had the normal regular Noddle, you have a Bitcoin full node. You can process your own transactions. What does this one allow you to do in addition to all that?
The main difference is it comes with support from the Samurai team. You will still be able to get it on the regular Noddle with an extra fee. So let's rewind a little.
Sure.
All the Noddles will get Dojo.
Okay, great.
For free, without custom support from Samurai. If you want the custom support, there will be a fee for the support. The red box comes with Dojo pre-installed, and it comes with a redundant storage, so you get Red 1 mirrored drives. It comes with fully encrypted storage, so if anyone steals your device, even if he has the default password, you will not be able to access the data.
Great.
And there are a few other physical security features we don't disclose yet.
And I hear it also has excellent specs. People have been looking at the price, but if you put a larger computer in there, larger processor, all these things, the idea being you could run it for more years before it becomes obsolete. Yeah,
it's probably a 4 or 5 years device.
That's fantastic. And where can people buy that right now?
shop.noddle.it. Our new website with the new device is coming soon. It's not ready yet, but it's being tested right now. So yeah, go straight to the shop.noddle.it and noddle.it to get more information about all of this. Now, I know there's a lot of... And change your password. Yeah, change your password. Change your default password. Your router, too. I can tell right now your router password is default. I just hacked your router. Now I'm listening to all your transactions. That's bad for you. But what are the main features of the Samurai Dojo? What does it allow users to do? So Samurai Dojo server allows you to use your Samurai wallet without any external server. So the Samurai servers don't see your public keys. So right now, if you use the normal Samurai wallet, and they're totally public about this, your transactions go through the Samurai server. So it's fine, but it's just not as private or as secure as most wallets, actually. Like most wallets, sure. And I know Airbits and Edge, they always did the same thing. It was always their servers. But if you had this, you would route the transactions through your home computer. So you will route your transactions through your Noddle. Your phone connects through Tor to your own device, and all the transactions go that way. Also, if you have the Whirlpool mixer installed on any computer, if it's paired with a wallet which is connected to Dojo, the Whirlpool mixer itself will be connected to Dojo as well. So except the coordination server, the pools, the mixing pools, you don't touch any external service. So you'd be portable, you'd be on the road, maybe use a cell phone network would be the most secure there, Wi-Fi less secure. Then you'd be able to send your transactions through your home Noddle or your home Samurai Noddle. Then you could use Whirlpool to mix your transactions. What would be the benefit of mixing your transactions? Making your money more confidential. So as we all know probably now, Bitcoin is not confidential. Definitely not. Mixing tries to fix that problem.
All right.
So in each round you mix your coin with 4 other participants, and you can mix it an infinite amount of time with every time 4 new participants, all the same, because it's mixing, so you don't know, it's random.
Can you turn it off and on by default? Do you have to push extra buttons every time?
You can set infinity in your mix, and it will be just mixing until you spend.
So you're just buying coffee, buying a computer, buying all the things you normally buy, and you're not worried about it. You're not covering up your secret transactions, but you just want that human right to privacy, where it's like, obviously, if you were looking at my transaction feed, you'd be like, oh, market downstairs, restaurant in Romania, train ticket to Romania. He's in Romania. We found him, you know, and I'm not doing anything, but clearly you could track me if you could watch my credit card. Would that be the same thing
totally.
here?
And with we do it also on the merchant side. So when we receive any money for our customers for the noders, we mix it in with Whirlpool too. And so if both the buyer and the seller are mixing, it's really a good way to.
Because if you were a merchant and people weren't mixing and they were just using the same Bitcoin address for everything, which we don't recommend, but much like setting the default password, you can recommend anything all you want. You can say you should use a password manager, but unless it's required, unless it's a demand, people just won't do it. So if you just sent your Bitcoin to the merchant could say, oh, you spent money here, you spent money here. Maybe you even got your Bitcoin from the Silk Road, or you got your Bitcoin from some kind of unsavory operation, and then we could start discriminating against those Bitcoins.
I think there were some cases of people who got arrested just because they got some Bitcoin which were involved in the past in some drug deals.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's definitely going to keep happening. It doesn't seem like the government or any of these people really understand Bitcoin at all. We've seen the IRS just come out with a great ruling about forks and airdrops, where basically if you wanted to be a big jerk to everyone, you could airdrop a bunch of coins, make them have value, and suddenly you just caused a tax liability for everyone. Maybe you could even then sell a program that would help you figure out how many coins you were airdropped, so you could then meet these tax liabilities. It's just a nice little button-up system right there.
Yeah, every time we talk with some American friends, we are like hallucinating when we hear about all these taxable operations. Like, even if you use your Bitcoin to buy something and rebuy the same amount, it's a taxable operation. I mean, what the fuck?
It's pretty much impossible for normal people to keep up with, and that's the kind of law that is just untenable. It's going to get to a judge, they're going to strike it down, but that's not to say that it's going to not cause a lot of heartache and hassle in the meantime. So I always tell everyone, pay your taxes. Like, always do your best. In the US, it's very unclear. It's very difficult to do it properly. Intention matters, though, I believe. If you try to pay it, I certainly pay mine. I try to pay it all. But yes, it's very complicated.
Yeah, probably same everywhere. I mean, the French tax declaration, if you have not like some most basic situation, it goes easily up to 40 pages.
Well, and that's why the Brits are trying to leave the EU anyways, that 80-page document on how to grow pickles. They just can't stand that level of bureaucracy. But then again, I look at the other side and I say, pickles are complicated. I want the pickles to be healthy. I want them to be of good quality, proper brine,
we need more
salt.
good pickles.
Yeah. And then there's like rules that you can't call your pickles if they come from this region. And if they come from some other region, you have to call them champagne. There's all kinds of rules.
Yeah, it's like chocolate has probably a different definition in every country in the world.
German chocolate is specific, French chocolate, Swiss chocolate, very different compositions. But in the end, it's all chocolate, right? Maybe not. So what else do you guys have going on at Nodl? Are you going to any of the conferences here in the future?
We are going to the Lightning Conference in Berlin next week.
I'm going to that. I want to be doing the same exact thing. We'll have to hang out, see if anything's changed.
Very excited about that, and actually things will change.
Yeah, nice.
We have a few announcements in store for that conference.
Excellent. Lightning features, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Throwing the bolts down from the mountain.
Yeah, there are new fun additions coming to Lightning, and
I think this couch is going to work better at Lightning. I think this couch, it might be a little like Bitcoin is a little slow on the couch, but the Lightning guys, I don't know if Jack Mahlers is going to be there, but I want to meet him in person. I'll bet he can kick my butt in chess.
We just met him in Paris 2 days ago.
Did he beat you in chess? He's so good. He can do speed chess.
At drinking beer, he's pretty good too.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He looks pretty young. I'll bet I could drink him under the table, but I'd probably lose in chess. So, but you know,
we'll
strengths. You got to have different strengths. Drink him under the table first, then beat him in chess. Aha. I like Jack. He's super cool. It's a funny story. His mom, not exposing him here, but his mom's on Twitter. She's like at Bitcoin Mom or something. She's been following me for years. And she used to tell me stories about her son, who was a chess champion, who played speed chess. And he used to write, I don't know, some kind of programs about chess and like tracking his moves and something and just all this stuff. It sounded really cool. And I wanted to meet him then. But now he's Jack Mallers from the Zap project and all these things, and he writes a big Lightning wallet. So I think he's more famous than me now. So now we really got to meet. But maybe it'll happen in Berlin.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I'll be there, and the couch will be there, and then I'm heading on to BitBrum in Birmingham. Are you going there?
No, we'll skip that one.
Oh, you got to go. It's going to be in England, the real England, the hard Brexit England. It's right around November 1st. Every time I go to England, they say they're going to leave the EU, but they haven't yet. I was there last time in June. They didn't leave. They kicked it down the road another 6 months. And then now here it is again, November 1st, the day after Halloween. Could be Brexit Day.
I don't believe.
That's just the continent talking. No one thought that they would vote yes, but they clearly voted yes. And whether it was a mistake or whatever, it was, the vote is in the can. They can't change it now. They've tried. They can't seem to have a second referendum for some reason. Obviously, they'd lose terribly.
Yeah, just make people vote until you get the expected results.
There you go. That's democracy, right? You have more votes. So that's great. And what else do you guys have planned for the future? Anything beyond that, or we're just going into winter hibernation with everyone else?
Yeah, I think we'll have a little hibernation. Although we are working on December.
Always working.
It's always summer somewhere.
Yeah. That's what I hear. I think a friend of mine, he said Barcelona is too cold and they're going to Bali. Sounds nice.
Yeah, and then the next big thing is Bitcoin 2020.
Oh, yeah.
That's
San Francisco with that, what's it called? Blockchain magazine?
Yeah,
altcoin magazine. Oh, Bitcoin magazine.
Bitcoin mag, yeah.
I remember that. They used to be all about the Bitcoin. Then something happened, yeah.
Yeah, last year that conference was pretty funny because every other person coming to our booth was asking, so when are you adding more coins to your device? What?
What kind of a Bitcoin conference is this? Yeah. No, I think they're still a little unclear on that. It's great to see them come back, but also I remember when they left. So it's hard to forget.
Some of them will be in Berlin as well.
Yeah, nice. Always good to see fellow BTC media companies. Every media in this space should be owned by David Bailey or Coinbase. That's what I think. Seemed like a nice guy. I met him once, far before he bought Let's Talk Bitcoin, Decentralized Magazine, Blockchain Magazine, Y Combinator Magazine, Y Bitcoin Magazine, all these magazines. It's just amazing how many things.
That's a good name for a magazine, Y
own.
Bitcoin Magazine.
Yeah, no, they did that before they bought Decentralized. They used to do Y Bitcoin, but unfortunately, it wasn't WHY Bitcoin. It was Y the letter. So I don't know, some kind of Gen X, Gen Y, Y chromosome, X chromosome thing. It seemed misplaced, but had a lot of great advertisements. You could almost say it was full of advertisements. You could say it was mostly advertisements. Maybe it was all advertisements, but it was great, right? Really pushed the journalism, lever far.
We love advertising at Nodo. We do a lot of advertisements.
Advertising is the best. They paid me to say that. But nah, it's great. They're great. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, we're having a great time here in Transylvania. It's day 2 of the conference. It's going on to day 3.
It's a nice discovery. I mean, I've never been in Romania and obviously not in Cluj, and it's a very nice city.
Seems all right. I got an incredible deal at breakfast today. I went to the market, got bananas, a water bottle, a croissant or a donut or something, and a Sprite, all for $2.64. It's unbelievable. Nice. Like, people are outside. They only look in. They don't actually want to participate. We have 4 microphones. That's 2 microphones more than the conference. Personally, I think you could get 8 people on this thing with 4 microphones. And I'm even willing to move the camera back. That's right. I'm motioning to the entire audience. There's so many people here. They're all thinking about coming down. Don't everybody move at once. Stay where you are.
Should grab someone.
If you want to leave, you have to get someone new. Otherwise, you have to stay forever. And I'm sure that's not what you want. But now you're here forever.
I'm cool, yeah.
Have you read any good books lately?
I'm trying to finish my airplane book. It's a sovereign individual.
Okay.
I'm like 1/4 of the book through.
It's a non-fiction libertarian book.
It starts to be interesting.
I wasn't crazy about the current book I was reading in the first section, but now I'm well into it in the second and third sections.
Actually, I'm listening more to books than reading paper books because I don't have time and place to do that. I just finished Edward Snowden's book and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'd like to read that. I really like Snowden.
I think he's still maybe a little too paranoid.
Just a little.
There is a little of exaggeration in the book, but yeah, mostly it's important to people know what's going on. Yeah. And his personal life story is fascinating.
It is interesting that he was right and they were recording us and they were watching us all the time and they were doing all these things and they changed it just a little bit, but really no one cared, did they? I mean, a lot of people just don't care.
People just record themselves all the time and post it all around.
Yeah. It's everywhere. Yeah, I'd like to check out the Snowden book. That'd be a good one. And also, I kind of want the hard copy so I could do the picture thing. Everyone's like taking pictures of themselves with the Snowden book. That looks fun. But
yeah, and as Matt says, no one can confiscate your paper book. I mean, harder than the online version.
The Kindle could be a Kindle book could be taken back from me, edited, changed. I'd have no idea. It would just say updating, and then the new version would arrive.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying very much right now Fail by Neil Stephenson. I always say that wrong. It's probably Stephenson. But it's really good. There's this computer geek guy. He's super rich like Bill Gates, and he dies. But he's got a contract. They're supposed to keep his brain alive in a computer. So this kicks off a whole arms race of putting brains in computers and how are we going to do it and which company is going to get the brain and all this kind of stuff. And that was all kind of interesting. But let's put all that aside because in part 2, Moab, Utah gets nuked by a nuclear bomb in the middle of America. Just, and everyone's like, whoa, Moab, it's gone. You know, mother of all bombs, and it's gone. But it's a hoax. It's an internet hoax. They cut the town off the internet. They set up fake roadblocks. They faked the video. They faked the other video. And they made $100 million selling the fake videos to the media. They only cost them $1 million for the operation. Incredibly successful. But what's so interesting is even after it's exposed as a fake and they go there and say, you know, physics still works on Tuesday. You know, if you're going to blow up buildings, you're going to leave behind all these traces and 3 buildings come down instead of 2 and 2 airplanes disappear. And Moab, Utah is actually fine. The people are there. They're totally fine. Nothing happened. But
it doesn't happen today.
No, not at all. Nothing like this has ever happened before at the Gulf of Tonkin. But it's just so funny because half the people on the internet still believe that Moab was bombed, and they believe it was a conspiracy.
Just yesterday in France, we had big news because some guy was allegedly arrested in Scotland, and after one night they discovered it wasn't the guy they thought he was.
So, it's always good to press release that one before you know it.
It was all over the news for the whole night.
Well, I remember when they told us that we would figure out everything that happened because those people had shorted the airline stocks. And we would know right away who had done it because they knew to short the airline stocks before the Moab, Utah disaster. But it's great. Half the internet believes that Moab was nuked, even though it was not. And this leads to a big problem of trust and who can we trust. And this guy Pluto comes along. And he's one of these other rich computer geeks, and he's got a solution. He's going to bury all the true information with false information. He's created these APEs, these apes, and he's going to send them out. And this lady was having a hard time. The internet was being cruel to her. So he's like, we're going to be 10,000 times more cruel. We're going to accuse you of every single thing, so much so that no one will believe any of these accusations because they're so obviously false. We're going to fill every comment section on the internet, every place that anything could be written will be filled with 1,000 messages destroying your character, so much so that no one will believe it. And his theory is that he's going to push people into what we all want, this cryptographic blockchain signed internet. I use my key, I signed it, it's on there, that's my spam. And the only way to publish is to sign, that kind of thing. The only problem is it backfires. There's just so much junk, and people go the other way. They don't go to his beautiful cryptographic signed internet. They start using editors to see the internet. And you have to pay an editor. If you can pay a good editor, you get good internet. If you pay a bad editor, you get poor internet.
Yeah, and there are so many lookalike websites. I see my parents, for example, 9 times out of 10, they think they are on a website, which is like some big news website, but they're actually on some scammy website. Or they install some app and it's actually just a bad copy for a lot of money of an app which actually exists and is legit. Like last time, my father downloaded the Metronome app. I receive because we have like a family account on iTunes, and I received the invoice for $8 per week for this app, just for Metronome.
Oh no! Oh, that's so simple. Like, and to do a subscription service, what a horrible scam. You get new Metronome skins every week.
There are plenty of apps like that on the stores.
Yeah, every time I use my dad's computer, he's got a new like search bar installed, or his homepage is going to some random
Does he still have some place under the search bars? Or just
it gets pretty bad. Like I've seen it down to 2 or 3 search bars, but I'm like, you don't need this, you don't need this. And he's got a Mac, so he's pretty secure and all those things, better than he was before. But yeah, it's still amazing. They sneak all that stuff by. If you click and it's not their fault. You know, if you click the wrong OK button, you click the wrong website, a couple of sequences in, and
just recently there was an update for Safari, and after changing your default password, please update Safari.
Please update Safari. It's not
actually,
too late.
A website could launch a download of a file in the background without you seeing it very clearly. So now when a website tries to download a file first time, it asks you if you authorize this website to download files to your computer.
Oh, that's good.
And they were distributing like some Mac cleaner.pkg, so it looks like a legit app for cleaning your Mac. It was actually a virus, of course.
All those Mac cleaners seem like viruses anyway. They always screw things up. All they do is get rid of the temp files or some kind of like sneaky thing. Like, I don't really know what you're doing, so it's probably not a good idea. Have you seen the Joker yet?
No.
I want to see it, but I'm on this tour. I can't seem to break off and see a movie.
I have kids. I have no time to go to the cinema. And I have my third kid, the Nardo, to take care of.
Oh. Yeah, I at first they told me it was too violent and too extreme. But then Michael Moore wrote a big review how it's like an allegory for our society and our times, and people just can't stand it. They can't stand looking at it because it's a mirror, and the Joker is us. And no one wants to be presented in that light. But if that's where we are, if that's what's happening, we've got to face it, even if we face it through art. So I got to see that movie. Unlike the movies I saw on the airplane.
What was it?
Well, I saw Tolkien. That was very good. That was the top, of course. Then I saw Detective Pikachu. That was pretty good. I'm not a big Pokemon guy, but they were very real. They looked like the animation looked really cool. It was like a world where all the animals were Pokemon. It was pretty strange. And it had Van Wilder as the voice of Detective Pikachu. So I like that. Then I watched Due Date with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr., the great actor. And unfortunately, he's stuck on this cross-country road trip with Galifianakis. And Galifianakis is just wrecking everything.
Yeah, I know that one.
A disaster. And then Robert Downey Jr. starts being really mean to him. And you're like, well, he's a disaster, but you don't have to be so mean to him. You know, he's like a big kid. You just want to hug him and say, do better, to stop being so stupid. But he's really stupid. So yeah, at other points, you're like, Robert Downey Jr. is right. You should smash him. And then I watched Father Figures with Ed Helms and Owen Wilson. And they're both looking for their fathers. And at one point, they think it's Terry Bradshaw. And that was pretty interesting, the football player. So the people are, again, looking in but not coming in. They've got half of it down. It's the other half.
Oh, the door is opening.
Oh.
And suddenly a wild Max appears.
Yeah. I've heard of this character. He's probably got the wasabi wallet, though. They say the samurai wallet people are afraid of this character. That's what I hear.
No one's afraid of him. Look how nice he is.
Which microphone is that? Is it on?
I hope so.
No, that's the one that's off. Turn it on.
Magic.
All right. You're on microphone 3 now. Max, how's it going? No one can see you at home. We have so many. Oh, no, you can kind of film.
A little bit.
little bit.
Just gotta snook up to Cato.
Let's see. So yeah, we're talking about all the new announcements and what's going on, and
Hey, dude, every time
And
I hear
Twitter drama.
Twitter drama, yeah, that is fun. What the Bitcoin be about it?
it's a good.
No, dude, every
camera
time I
angle.
hear talk about network level stuff, I'm like mind
There's
blown.
me.
It's like you have all the background knowledge for the network stuff, and
I promise that was the last.
Good.
That's all I had.
all the knowledge, spread it out. Now, moving on. Okay, so what's next? No network level more? I mean,
Next will be pure Lightning. Next weekend will be Lightning, all about Lightning. Redundancy, failover, spawning tons of nodes in a few minutes, hosting, and undisclosed.
Ooh, undisclosed.
Undisclosed is the best kind of announcement.
Yeah, and so some people involved in the undisclosed thing are here actually, working on it actively, like disappearing from the conference room and going to code and coming back.
Whoa. Actively
So
working.
that's why we had no party yesterday.
Now I actually know what this is about. Ooh, it's actually very exciting. It's very exciting. They're
Not as much as the second part, though.
Yeah,
which you don't know about.
Oh.
The new Nodl is going to take Nodl, and you could do Nodl with it.
We'll put a nodal in your nodal so you can nodal while you nodal.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's the version to get.
Nodalception.
Somebody needs to stand at the door and direct people in. I volunteer you. Whoever they are, just bring imagine that this couch should be full. Like Johnny Carson was like, and the next guest, come on down. Looks like it's Nick Gregory from Commerce Block here on the big
Nick.
couch in Transylvania. Yep, it works good. No one's watching, but you can say hello. The audience prefers fortune tellers.
I predict big things.
Yeah.
Number go up?
Yeah.
Big things.
The ball did predict that the price would go up. We talked to the magic Bitcoin ball earlier. I have it hidden away. It's not just right here in my hand. That's nothing in my hand. But yes, the magic Bitcoin ball predicted the future, and the price will go up.
It's official.
Next week.
On a sufficient period of time, it will anyway.
Yeah. And again, I'm getting on an airplane anyway, so that's also a pretty good technical indicator is what they call those. They like to use the Mad Bitcoin's flight allowance system. Whenever Mad Bitcoin's flights, the MFA generally goes up, and that causes the price of Bitcoin to go up.
To the moon. What if you're on a spaceship rocket?
We're willing to try it. There's a long time ago, that flight attendant who bought a lot of Bitcoin early, bought a flight from Virgin Galactic. Richard Branson himself paid for the flight entirely with Bitcoins. Still hasn't been to space. No, it hasn't been to space yet. And paid for his flight in Bitcoins, taking horrible losses. That was back when it was like 300, maybe 1,000 at the most. And this flight attendant prepaid for the flight. It's a really bad deal. I hope Richard Branson gives him or her their money back. I heard Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie also prepaid, but now they're divorced, so I don't know how that's going to work out. You wouldn't want to be on the same space flight with your recently divorced significant other.
Especially if you're trying to go to Mars.
Yeah. Oh, it's a long
long
trip
journey.
to Mars. Could be a lifetime even.
And kind of one way. So I guess divorce is out of the option from that point on forward. Well, although Mars is a big place, so you can have different citadels. One castle for
you
wife.
can build 2 different base stations.
Mars ain't the kind of place you raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell. Somebody
hot.
wrote that sometime.
One of the two.
No, the sun is hot. The sun is a massive incandescent gas, a gigantic nuclear furnace, where hydrogen is converted into helium at a temperature of millions of degrees.
Magic.
I know. They might be giants. They might be. So what's going on, Nick? You have a great time at the Transylvania conference?
Great. I never thought I'd come to Transylvania. That's what Bitcoin does to people. It takes you to places you never expected to go to.
And I actually thought there were more trees in Transylvania.
I'm hoping for the big castle. I thought it'd be more touristic. I thought it would be little vampire shops.
The guy on the
I thought it'd be Count Dracula's walking around and trying to.
The guy on the salt mine tour said that Vlad the Impaler only rode by the castle, and yet millions of tourists visit it every year. And they also said it was 4 hours away. So we could have gone to the castle, but it would have been a very long bus ride and a very long bus ride back. But of course, you wouldn't remember because you'd have those little imprints on your neck and you'd be, you know, have a tattoo and stuff. You'd be like owned. You'd be a familiar, or maybe a full vampire. I don't know. Nick's a core developer. Bitcoin core developer. They might take you into the coven. Yeah.
Core developer. I would use that word loosely. I dabbled.
We all wrote BIPs in our spare time. I myself have written several BIPs.
No, I kind of spent more. Unfortunately, I don't like C++. So when I got into Bitcoin, I spent too much time on Bitcoin J, which is kind of not. We had more contributions to Ethereum than it did to Bitcoin.
Well, the BISC uses Bitcoin J.
Yes,
that's a very great
I
project.
think Rootstock are still actively doing stuff.
That too. Yeah, there was a long time no SegWit support on Bitcoin J. And now that there finally is SegWit support, there are no BISC developers to implement it. Shit.
I don't think who else, because it was written by Mike Hearn and Matt Corello wrote a lot of it. That's how I was doing mainly Java back then.
My condolences. No, wait, that's
They were
better
very
than
helpful, to be
JavaScript.
honest. No, I didn't like C++. I never did C++. I went from C to Java. C++ was a bastardization of object software.
I agree.
Okay. I was waiting for you to like get aggressive with me. So. But, no,
Although I prefer assembly language, but C
That's
is
hardcore.
okay.
Oh,
Anything
come
above
on.
C is not okay.
Assembly language is the only class I ever failed.
everyone loves Rust these days. I tried to learn that. That's actually pretty tricky.
Yeah, apparently that's
I stopped at the
best thing.
first page of the book because there is no ternary operator.
I just noticed Hello World took over a second to compile. So that shows how hard it is to write code in Rust. It's very defensive. It's got a very strong compile.
But it verifies stuff.
Yeah, I think it makes you think differently. I mean, I always thought I could learn the language on the weekend, not Rust.
That takes 2 weeks.
It's a kind of trust and verify situation. Actually, you have to trust the developers who made the language to do things for you.
But they're trustworthy guys.
So we've got a question from the audience. They say, what do you guys think about LibraCoin, the Facebook project?
It's just an ETF.
I'm out of here.
It's just an ETF, isn't it?
Yeah, they're selling coins, right? I hear a lot of people are dropping out of the project, just like Keto Miner just did. I hear PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, quite a few that started off with them. Doesn't seem like they'll be making it to the finish line. Forced prediction, will it ever be released? Yes or no, Keto Miner?
No.
Max?
Nope.
Nick?
No, but I think Libra might be interesting.
The answer is yes. Libra gets
Calibra,
released
not
anyway.
Libra.
Facebook doesn't care. Facebook violates the law. Facebook releases it in one shitty country, accidentally leaks it to the rest of the world, attains monetary dominance, fights the US government on their own terms. Is that better for the world, Nick Gregory?
I think it's a bit like medicinal marijuana. You know, you can't really sell pot, but you can sell medicinal marijuana.
Is it like being a little pregnant?
Yeah, so it's going to get people into cryptocurrency, you know, by the underground, you know, so get people warm to it.
Max, will it get people into cryptocurrency, or they'll just be happy to use their Facebook money device?
No, if they stick to corporate coin, then they will use corporate coin. If they really need censorship resistant money, they will use Bitcoin.
That's right. Corporate coin wins. Keto Miner, can we get you some corporate coin?
I think people would not even notice that it's a cryptocurrency because they would just use it as an internal coin for Facebook. And if my count is correct, that's the third time Facebook tries to make a coin. And
they definitely had Facebook coins or Facebook credits. Amazon had Amazon coins. All of these were the same idea, but a centralized database. Does it make a big difference that it's on the blockchain?
No.
No.
Well, it's less efficient.
So it'll cost them more money this time. That's good. I like that.
Great, I won't be happy.
But you see, the thing with any of these central custodial corporate coin stuff, why not just a digital bearer certificate server? Like, you already trust the corporate, trust a third party. Might as well make it private. But of course, they don't care about your privacy.
But they can't use Bitcoin because you can't print them. You have to print them so you can have them in the pre-sale. Otherwise, somebody else is printing them. They get all the money that should be yours.
And then they pump it.
It's not enough. It's not enough. See, what else is going on in cryptocurrency? Do you guys think that CoinDesk should cover Bitcoin conferences, or should they only cover Coin Census, the conference that owns them? The conference they own. Max.
It's all fake news.
It's all fake news.
Independent researchers will.
Nick, does it
tweet
matter? CoinDesk is important.
I don't care. No, I'm a WCN fan, as you know.
Whoop whoop.
Keto miner.
I don't really have an opinion.
Oh, there's the that's the correct thing to say. That's what I should have said.
I only go to WCN.
No comment. CoinDesk is great. No. Is it better to be real or rich? What matters more, authenticity or money?
Why not both?
Nick, can you be both?
Yeah, I believe so.
Keto miner, real or rich?
I wish I could, but I prefer to be real.
Yeah, it's better to be real. You can always get rich later.
Or you're fake and poor.
Well, you can become rich very fast and poor very fast. So authenticity does stick, I hope.
This above all to thine own self be true, right? But Polonius was a fool. Nick, Polonius was a fool?
I'm going to sound like an idiot. Who's Polonius?
He was Ophelia's father, and she was going to marry Hamlet, but he wasn't too crazy about that. Then Hamlet stabbed him through a curtain. It went bad. But before that, he said that you should be true to your own self, which may have been good advice, or it was bad advice because it was spoken by a fool.
Well, if you lie to yourself, what is there?
You have to make it yourself. That makes it fun. Otherwise, it's just entertainment. David Mamet.
I think it's your good advice, but it's not always good to be true to yourself.
If you're, what if you're like a big jerk or you're really sarcastic?
Yeah, that, or if you just
keep throwing away all your opportunities, burning every bridge in the industry.
Too honest is not a good idea.
There's a different, well, there's fine lines between being honest and destroying other people's projects. There's a fine line between starting a dumpster fire and pouring gasoline on it. But I tend to be involved in all of it because I like fire and the results.
I like Twitter.
Twitter's fun.
And sometimes the results.
Do we want to check your screen time? How many hours a day do you spend on Twitter at average? 4, 5, 6, 7?
I think my total screen time is 3 hours per day average. Half of it's probably Telegram, and the half of the other half is Twitter.
Pretty sure all
the
mine
last part is undisclosed.
All mine is Twitter. Just
Instagram.
Twitter. You have been using Twitter. Today I used Twitter for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Whereas it seems on average, I use Twitter 12 hours and 37 minutes in a week. Come on down.
By the way, I think crypto
people
Instagram
are hiding in the
underrated.
audience. They don't want to be on the
really
big couch.
What is on that?
Every time I go to a conference, I put the hashtag of the conference in Instagram, and I found new people who joined Instagram from the crypto community, which is like, I mean, I'm there, so I'm stupid too, but I think it's stupid to be on Instagram if you're in the crypto community.
It's stupid to be on any social network if you're in the crypto
But
community.
we need Twitter.
Yeah.
I still miss the days of Reddit. Remember when Reddit/Bitcoin was the first place you'd go to in the morning? I remember that back then. That was much more fun. I used to read what Greg Maxwell would rant about every day. I kind of miss that.
Yeah, they used to have some good comment sections on Reddit, but it really got, I was just kind of overwhelmed with all the altcoins and all
Roger
the
Ver
others.
killed it, didn't he? When he
Yeah, there's a
competing at RBC
BTC Bitcoin thing that started a war. Then in general, they had that rule on our Bitcoin where they're like, you can't promote or even talk about altcoins. And that led to a whole like, well, what about this? Ban. What about this? Ban. But I said this about ban. So, and people don't like that. So
Is curation censorship?
I don't think so. I think you have a right to, having a right to free speech is different than having a right to free speech everywhere. If you come into my house and you wipe your feet on my rug and you just screw up my couch and everything, I'm going to kick you out of my house. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop you from ruining other people's houses or ruining your own house. You still have that freedom, but just not in my house.
Maybe in this situation, pre-moderation would be smarter than post-moderation.
Yep.
If only we had some kind of a trusted network where we could look people up and see if they're good or bad.
Twitter.
But then that could be bad too.
And what happens if they change from being bad to good?
Can they change?
Well, some people are grown up, raised in bad environments.
Do you think Roger Ver can grow up?
I think he's got God complex, so maybe he needs to go back to poverty or something.
So something like, yeah, they put a man in jail for stealing bread. He said, "You could never change." He said, "Terrible, terrible story."
We used to send those people to Scotland, so maybe to Australia, so maybe they change on the trip. Yeah.
It's a long journey after all.
So what else is going on, guys? Anybody hear about the new Ghostbusters movie? Not the one with all the women. They're making a third one now, and they're going to completely ignore that one with all the women. They're going to go back to the basics. Have
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
yeah, oh, it definitely is going to be in there. All the original is going to be tons of fan service. All the original guys will maybe do a cameo, that kind of thing. A return to glory for the Ghostbusters. It's an important franchise. How will we teach children about how to catch ghosts if not the help of the Ghostbusters?
We don't.
So did anyone go to the parties last night? Any kind of hot action at the parties?
I heard there was karaoke.
I heard that, but I didn't get to go. And
What?
now I have all this like pent up singing. I almost did Les Mis there. You guys didn't get it. But yeah.
I still remember the karaoke in Amsterdam. That was something to behold.
They need to fix their microphones.
Yes.
I still remember the one in Riga. Kind of.
Wait, you remember that?
You were in Riga?
I remember getting on stage asking anything by Pink Floyd. The guy said, "We don't have this song," so I just said, "Stay humble, stack sats," and went out.
Good. So you were humble. Did you stack stats though?
With full face mask on. Because why not?
So what was your favorite speech that you saw today or yesterday? Nick?
Well, I'm biased, so I'm going to say Dr. Tom. but-
Ah, a home pick there. Commerce Block, Dr. Tom. He talked about something about blockchains.
Yeah, well, poor Tom, he went from making patents at N-chain to selling blockchains, so yeah, he's had a rough time. So,
It's tough
Poor
sell.
bastard.
it's hard to make money in this space, you know.
Oh,
Maybe
an
even
ICO too?
impossible.
I should.
Oh, damn it. Like
Don't call them
that's
shitcoins, they're shit securities, you know.
Max, how about you? What was your favorite talk at the
God, I
conference?
didn't watch many of the talks yet. I like the sidechain panel.
Yeah.
Dr. Tom again.
Ding, ding.
Throwing on us.
2 for 2.
Killing it on Commerce Block. What about Keto Miner? He did a conference. He did a talk right here.
But that was network level magic that I don't understand.
Ah,
So I was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I just had to do that one to get rid of it. Trying to innovate every time.
Yeah, what's with all these speakers doing the same talks over and over again?
It's as if you go to too many conferences, you're seeing through the veil.
Oh, no.
Giacomo had a pretty ecological move today. He recycled.
Oh.
A
good.
surprisingly ecological move from Giacomo.
Uh.
Out of character, perhaps.
I liked Dawn's talk a lot, actually. It was to remind the history of all of that. It's always nice.
I liked Wasim's talk. He talked about taxonomies and different structures for things. He had circles
He
around
totally
this.
lost me.
You can be a Bitcoiner and you can be a shitcoiner, but you can't be a Bitcoiner who is a shitcoiner and all those kind of
come on,
things.
I'm a Bitcoiner who loves shitcoins.
Oh,
I
the
spend more
truth
time
comes
looking
out.
at Decred these days. So I'll be
Yeah,
open with
yeah. You're gonna have a governance model, and I'm gonna have a Sybil attack, and then I'll have another
it.
Sybil
These are
attack.
experiments, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to see the Sybil attack. Because what about if all my people are fake and they all vote for me? I win, right? We had a vote. I win. It's not a good system.
Democracy, the
Reminds
tyranny
me
of the
some
majority.
countries. You don't even vote and your vote is counted anyway.
In Russia, the computer votes for you. So much easier.
Convenience.
Yeah. So convenient.
Oh, apparently in China now, they have Face ID for any internet access. So that's also very convenient.
That sounds like a sweet deal.
Stick it in front.
Yeah, why not? Maybe they require blinks as
Okay.
proof of life.
Do you whack the head a few times and charge it, put some electricity in it, like in Prometheus.
Yep.
Remember in Prometheus when they get the head, the 2,000-year-old head with electricity and they wake it up?
It was
You're
pretty
not a fan of
amazing.
Prometheus, okay.
No one is. I watched it though.
Yeah, you have to be an Aliens fan to watch it.
I like Alien 1 where nothing happens. That's a good movie. 45 minutes of nothing.
Pretty dark movie.
It's the power of it. I mean, that's the thing. And if you didn't like that, they have Aliens 2,
Which is all commando
which is
style.
all fighting stuff. It's a
You know,
James
it is,
Cameron movie.
but it's still in the genre that it is. It's a very good movie. It's just very different to the first one.
Oh,
but in and of
nothing
itself.
makes any sense.
Well, in the first one, you never really see the alien, which is spooky.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Jaws.
Yeah, you
It
never.
should be for a horror movie. The
Yeah.
second one is not a horror movie. It's an action movie.
It's an action movie. And then the third one's a mess
show.
because they wouldn't use Fincher's script.
The third
And
one
they
was
wouldn't
basically
listen
about
to
getting
him.
cash on the franchise. Basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything
It's
after that.
like rolling out the Rolling
Yeah.
Now the
Stones again.
fourth one's pretty good. Jean Genet, he did Delicatessen, a lot of other really good independent type movies. It's kind of it's a mess. It's the one where she finds that they've been breeding aliens and there's like a Ridley alien clone and all that kind of thing. Like that was a pretty interesting movie, like against all odds.
Okay, guys, I can't skip the talk about memes, so I will leave you now.
There is a talk about Theo's talk about
Yeah.
memes. Is that now?
Yeah, it's like now.
Bitcoins, are you gonna announce him?
They want me to be next door and here at the same time.
Just fork it.
How can I be in both places?
It's called human cloning.
Discuss. So obviously I can't.
Give
right?
Kato Miner, he has a beard. Give him the goggles and hat.
I figure they can
Not
introduce
gonna
the
happen.
next guest. They probably figured out how to do it by now.
It's called leadership. That's what they want you for.
It's admirable. And we're even running out of steam here. I don't know where to go with this. No one knew who was going to come in the door. Everyone has left. The room is just packed with audience and they're just cheering.
They are very quiet.
And they're all like, everyone at the conference was like, how can I get on that awesome live stream? Like you got one of those. Now there's these other people here from the Navy and they'll let like 6 people watch your video and then they'll sell your image to the corporations. Haha, joke's on you. But here at the pirate radio station, we just don't get the same kind of respect as the Navy. Right? They have big boats. We have small boats. They have fancy equipment. We have duct tape.
So orange duct tape, though.
Yeah. It's electrical tape. It's better than duct tape.
Impressive camera work.
Yeah. I built it myself. I don't know. What else is going on, guys? South Park's been really good. It's going to take down China. I'm excited. I'm surprised. China's really big. South Park's really small. But that doesn't seem to matter.
The audience is leaving.
We go 8 more minutes. We get an hour. You get a little pin for your lapel.
Participation.
Yeah, participation in 1 hour live stream.
That's a trophy.
It's epic.
Can we use the recalled clock instead?
7 minutes. What to do in that time?
I'm going on break after this, so I'm pretty psyched. I've had enough. This 3 days is too long. Too many live streams is too long. No new guests. No assistants. Everyone leaves. Empty room. I could be here by myself.
You need to manipulate the price, surely.
Number
Now,
go
what
up.
is the price of Bitcoin right now? That's
Oh.
why no one's tuning in.
It's on the board.
It was on there, but it went away.
Oh,
It stopped working.
that's a shame.
Let's see.
Which Bitcoin?
83.44.
All
The
of them.
price is down 0.1%.
Are we at block 600,000 yet?
It doesn't say.
I don't think so.
I think we still have a couple more. That's what
I
we
think
got to
it's
celebrate.
590 something.
If you look at Bitcoin for the past week, it's up 3.4% thanks to the MAD tour. Spiked even a little higher there. You can't really see, but it looks like a stair-stepping up pattern.
Number go up.
Naturally, whenever we've had a stair-stepping up pattern in the past, Bitcoin has either gone up or down. You can quote me on that. I did a lot of research.
Trade block. What type of block explorer is that? Never heard that.
It's one of the nicest block explorers when the blocks being.
Really?
It shows, you see all the empty ones that come out.
Huh. I did not see that.
Trade block. Yeah, they sell their data to
Current block is 599,055.
055. So that is only 45 blocks, which is not even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days until block
I
600,000.
want to see a competitor trade block. It's just Byte Tree.
Byte tree.
They have all these like image kind of like maps of the blocks.
I have an exclusive announcement for you, so you know that we're using block numbers for serial numbers.
Good.
We'll restart numbering from 600,000
Good.
plus whatever will be the first block of /pro because we only use /pro blocks.
Nice. As it should be.
I like /pool. Oh yeah, how about this? I'll ask you guys some dramatic Trezor questions. Do you think it's better to have one firmware or two firmwares?
It would be better to have only a Bitcoin only firmware, but
And nothing else.
they would lose users.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I still rather have two firmwares. I know it's not necessarily the popular opinion, but
What about having one firmware and having a button that says hide altcoins? And then it could be a visual element and it wouldn't have to be an entire new system.
it's not about visual. It's about
Mhm.
bringing vulnerabilities together with the altcoins. So as long as they are inside, even if you don't see them, they are still inside.
So it's like Lucky 7 coin that took down Crypsy, right?
Yeah.
The legendary, allegedly bad wallet code that took down Crypsy. Max, what do you think? Should Trezor have two firmwares?
It's a good question. I mean, ultimately, more power to the user, and if the user wants to hold shitcoins, then they hold shitcoins. But if I get the security risks of all the shitcoins, that sucks. And even worse, the Trezor company now has to dedicate many developers in order to build the shitcoin software. That is what bothers me most, because all these devs could be working on something real and not just gambling. So in that sense, it's not just having the Bitcoin-only firmware. It's having a company with Bitcoin-only focus so that all the individuals working in that company can dedicate their efforts on real shit.
Nick Gregory, should Trezor have two firmwares?
Yes, probably.
Ooh. I totally disagree with you guys. Everyone's going to lose their money. Something bad's going to happen. They're going to flash their thing wrong. They'll get the wrong thing. They'll lose their money. Also, the Trezor guys was like, oh, it's built from the same branch. It's just like if you were going from page 39 to page 240. But what if I went from page 39 to page 241 or from page 38 to 239?
I mean, if you flash the wrong firmware, you can just flash the correct one again and put the same seed, and you will get your coins back. So
Only if I have the seed.
yeah, I mean, if you're flashing your firmware, you're supposed to have your seed
Supposed to have your seed when you flash your firmware, people.
and change your default password.
And change your default password.
Did that actually get exploited?
The default password stuff? I don't think so. You have to physically access the device. So.
Wait, physically access or be in the same network?
In the Nodo's case, same network. In the Casa's case, physical access. Software security is well never better than ours in this situation.
Why was there the same issue on the two different hardwares?
It has nothing to do with hardware. It's just when you sell a device to someone, you have to provide the default password for SSH or local access. Of course, this password could be unique to the device. That's the way we will be doing it from now on.
Yeah.
But if you turn your router upside down, you'll probably find the password, which is password or default or admin or root or whatever under the device on the sticker.
Okay.
Together with the IP address. And
changing.
I mean,
passwords.
we probably underestimated the security of a physical full node, and we are still learning. Everybody's still learning in this space.
You also probably thought the users would change their password on their own.
Yeah, I thought the users will read the quick start guide and go to the end of it and not just stop as soon as something turns green on the interface.
But green is pretty.
Green is pretty. If it's green, it's working, right?
Yeah, it works. I don't do the rest because it's already working.
That's
so now
it.
we will prevent them from from doing the setup as long as they don't change the password.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That sounds pretty good. Max, do you have any problem with people not changing their default passwords?
Well, I mean, in general, not using password managers or complex passwords really sucks. And you know, I'm really a fan of mnemonic passwords, like the Bitcoin mnemonic seeds. Very easy to back up. So for that, I swear, get a huge word list, like 4,000 something words.
Correct. Horse battery staple. Correct horse battery staple.
Exactly. Yeah. And then get dice, start rolling them. Got a good password. Very easy to write down, very easy to type in. Got an oracle. Maybe the password will tell you something. Randomness. There's beauty in that.
I'll just use keys.
Everyone should switch to a password manager, and they should change their default password. We made it an hour. I think we're going to call it a break for this live stream, maybe do another live stream later, recover our energy. Maybe before we go, Nick, where can people learn more about Commerce Block?
Gonna sound predictable. Commerceblock.com.
Oh, there it
no.
is. And Max, what about your projects? Where can they learn more about that?
Towardsliberty.com, docs.wasabiwallet.io, nodl.it, coldcardwallet.com, btcpayserver.org, bisq.network, worldcryptonet.com.
I feel like every time I see your introduction slide, there is a new name on it.
Well, yeah, this time I added BTC Pay and BISC, which are two projects that I did not contribute for a longer time. So usually I don't like put them on there, but that was part of the Bitcoin privacy weapon stack. So
I am trying to start an effort of collecting all my talks on ketominer.pw, like password/talks. And there is no homepage yet, but as soon as there will be one, there will be like a collection of talks on social accounts and all that stuff.
will it be black?
It already is black, of course.
Good.
That sounds pretty cool. I might have to create one of those for myself. Sounds good, but haven't been doing web pages, been out and about, away from the computer, getting nothing done. So, but you can check us out at the World Crypto Network or follow me on Twitter at Mad Bitcoins. We'll be back again a little later, probably, or maybe tomorrow. Until next time, bye-bye. I have to push like 8 different things. Stop.